First, it was the Southwest governors who took what many have described as a bold step against all odds to launch a security outfit with similar coloration within states in the region, the Operation Amotekun. This move appears to have gingered the South-South and even the Southeast governors to announce the establishment of the Amotekun-like security outfit in those regions. Also, on Thursday, governors from the Northeast, the epicenter of insurgency, held an unusual regional meeting, mandating their attorneys general to meet with security agencies and work out an approach to enhance regional security within the ambit of the law. Do these moves by governors in the various regions spell a gradual but determined step towards true federalism? Most citizens have been clamoring for. Is it a tacit way of telling the federal government that it is no longer business as usual? Has the much talked about restructuring eventually crept in? Some of these questions already have their answers staring us eyeball to eyeball. But there are some whose answers only time will give. But one thing is certain, the old order is changing. The conservative way of running this country is changing, and it seems to be changing very fast. We pray our country is the better for it in the end. My name is PIUS NSABE. I'd like to welcome you on Voice of Liberation on Pensioners 106.7 FM, Agbarigo, Onireke, Ibadan. Broadcasting from the Oyo State Pensioners House, fondly called Africa's Model. Today on the program, I will be hosting two labor leaders in the state. One a male, one a female. Together, we will discuss issues bordering on labor, security, politics, the International Women's Day coming up tomorrow, gender issues, among others. As always, it promises to be educative, informative, and of course, entertaining. Let's get things rolling after this short musical break. Please stay tuned.
Oh my God, oh, 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 it feel like it, they won't tell us when to, we never hear before. To Baba Deya, plus Soli Baba Deya, Sabada Badam, Dabadam, 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 no be smoking, no be smoking, no be smoking, no be smoking. I said no be smarting, no be smarting, no be smarting. Hey. Looking back to all the years that you and I have spent together, it seems like you've been playing me all along. So many times you asked me to put the whole of my trust in you. So many times you betrayed me and played me for a fool. Why don't we work together so the future will be brighter? Cause it be like you and I, we didn't need each other all the time. All the time. Another year has come, and now you want my trust once more. Oh, no. It be like say you want to tell me another story again. It be like say you want to act another movie again. It be like say you want to go another coding again. It be like say you want to dance nothing you dance again. You want to sing another song.
Welcome back. The program is Voice of Liberation on Pensioners 106.7 FM, Agbarigo, Onireke, Ibadan. My name is PIUS NSABE, and we are good to go this morning. But first, I must let you know that You can reach us on 0908 111 1067, 0908 111 1067, or 0808 010 1067, 0808 010 1067. Also, we stream on our various social media platforms. For Facebook, it's Pensioners FM 106.7, Pensioners FM 106.7, and on Twitter, it's at Pensioners FM. On Instagram, Pensioners FM 1067, Pensioners FM 1067, and on YouTube, simply Pensioners FM. You can also reach us via our website www.pensioners1067fm.com, www.pensioners1067fm.com. Of course, all these platforms, you can interact with us. Definitely, you will get our responses. Now, we go straight to some of the labor stories that made the round during the week. The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has given the Bauchi state government a 21-day ultimatum to resume negotiations and subsequently implement the new 30,000 naira national minimum wage in the state. The state chairman of the NLC, Danjuma Kerfi, told journalists at a press conference that the ultimatum was part of resolutions reached at the end of the joint state executive council meeting of the organized labor held at the union secretariat in Bauchi. He said members view the absence of the commitment on the part of the government's representatives towards the resolution and the subsequent implementation of the new national minimum wage in the state as irresponsible. The organized labor called on the government to restore negotiations without further delay or face industrial action. The federal government is set to begin enforcement and monitoring of compliance with her directive that only qualified and professionals licensed by the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TRCN, teach in both public and private schools nationwide. The registrar, TRN, Professor Segun Ajiboye, who stated this in Ibadan while speaking with newsmen, said the first phase of the compliance monitoring and documentation will take place nationwide between March 9 and 17. According to Ajiboye, the task force has been activated to beam searchlight into the credentials of those teachers in government and private schools for appropriate commendation or sanction as the case may be. The National Council on Education had declared December 31, 2019 as the last day for unlicensed teachers to be registered with the TRCN or get booted out of the classrooms. The Kaduna State House of Assembly amended the State Pension and Gratuity Law 2006 for governors to provide for death benefits to any of them who died while in service. The benefits as provided in the amendment will be lump sum of the gross annual salary of the incumbent governor or deputy governor as death benefit to the family. It was reported that the lawmakers unanimously passed the amendment at plenary presided by the Deputy Speaker Alhaji Mukhtar Hazo. Already, there is a provision in the law for payment of pension and gratuity to former governors and deputy governors in the state. Speaking after the sitting, Alhaji Suleiman Dabo, representing Zaria constituency, explained that the law was amended to ensure fairness to any governor or deputy who might die while still serving the state. And outside the country, the lower house of the French parliament has approved a hotly debated overhaul of the country's pension system, clearing a major hurdle for one of President Macron's signature reforms. The law passed on Wednesday shortly after the midnight, after two no-confidence votes introduced by the opposition failed against Macron's centrist majority. Centrist President Macron's plan to replace France's professional pension scheme with a single national scheme has sparked weeks of strikes and protests. Trade unions and opposition parties slammed the move as anti-democratic, but their calls for fresh protests against a bill that triggered the longest French transport strike in decades fell largely on deaf ears. Of course, These are some of the labor stories that we have for you this week. And now we go straight into the thick of things. Let me welcome my first guest on the program this morning, talking about Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiro, who is the chairman, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, or your state chapter. Comrade, you are welcome on the program.
Good morning, Nigerian. Good morning, PIUS.
When we don't hear from labor people, we presume that everything is well, that salaries are being paid regularly, that minimum wage alerts have been received, and all that. We've not heard from labor for some time. So do we presume that all is well?
Yes and no. Yes, because as far as we are concerned, we believe that it is not until we shout, it is not until we make noise or table bang or bang the table that we could get solution to our problem. So we have been engaging in chit-chats with our employers. And that is why there has been so much, there has not been so much noise.
Okay.
But, you see, by the time, that is what we want people to appreciate in the modern day labor movement that we have. We also use scientific approach to our issues. We employ a lot of things, from the way we observe, from the way we conduct ourselves. We draw an inference. It is at the time of reaching the conclusion or making or reaching agreement that when things go wrong, it's only then that people will know, oh, these people, they have come again. They wouldn't know all the efforts we had made that are not come to the public. Yes, you are right. Kudos to Governor Sheyi Makinde.
Okay.
Since he came on board 25th, at least as from June last year, 25th or even earlier than that date, has remained. And it's like he is becoming part and parcel of the people of Oyo State.
Have you seen the alert for the new minimum wage?
Oh, yes. Sure.
How come we didn't hear the shouts and everything?
That is why I said, you see, I have to say it here. We had said it, and thank God Comrade Segun Abaten was on the committee. For the first time since the negotiations started till it was concluded, there was nothing like ultimatum, there was nothing like noise, because the government of the day came to the negotiation table with an open hand.
Now I'm talking about minimum wage. We have a set of people here who have been consistently also demanding what is their right, and that's the pensioners.
Oh yes.
Of course, we know that constitutionally, after every 5 years, when the minimum wage is reviewed, pension also should be reviewed constitutionally. But here we are, we've been talking of minimum wage. It appears that nobody's even, giving a listening ear to the issue.
No. That is not it. I'm very sure Comrade Segun Abaten will never say that.
Really?
Sure.
Because I know that recently, the 6, members of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners from the 6th geopolitical zone went to Abuja. Met with the Senate Committee on Establishment and Public Service.
You know what they are requesting for? That is circular that we empower their employer, their former employer, to also let them have the benefit of the minimum wage. Should be released. Okay. You see, in Oyo State, I don't know whether you have seen the memorandum of understanding, our own agreement that we signed.
Yeah,
you see that
you sent it to me minutes after I signed.
Yeah. So you see that two clauses were there majorly because of the pensioners. The one that says that the agreement takes effect nominally with effect from 18th of April last year. That was when President Muhammadu Buhari actually assented to the bill to become a law.
Okay.
And that means any pensioner that retires 19th of April till now, yes, their benefit will be calculated with that, although nominally. Then with the financial effect, with effect from 1st of January. 2, we said as soon as the circular for enablement from the Salary, Wages and Income Commission on the review of pensioners' pay is released from Abuja, Oyo State should also follow suit.
Okay.
So those two things and then you see, everybody that talks now, whichever union you are in, like I want to say, before you join the RIP group, once you are a public service worker, you come to the NUP. And that's why Bata will always tell us, look, whether you do it right or not, I'm going to harvest you.
Okay, let's listen to the presentation of the pensioners who recently went to Abuja. First, let's listen to the National President, Dr. Abel Afolayo, while talking to the Senate Committee on Establishment and Public Service.
Strictly adhere to, for instance, based on the sections of the Constitution quoted above, pensions were last reviewed in 2010, or 2020, 10 years ago. The review was not even properly carried out. The union had to struggle for the full implementation of the review, which was wrongly and grossly reduced from 53.4% to 33.4%. I said wrongly and grossly. They said they deducted, that's a difference of 20%. They deducted that the 20% tax, national health insurance, and what have you, which do not apply to us. Pensioners don't pay tax. We are not subjected to national health insurance or what have you. Yet they deducted the 20% just because someone there felt that where will the government get the money to pay this huge amount to pensioners? Consequently, consequent upon the same provision, we were due for another 5-yearly review in 2015, but nothing was done. That is government flouting its law, flouting the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. When the national minimum wage was approved in 2019, the Constitution made it mandatory to review pensioners' take-home pay. Yet, we are still pushing government to abide by the constitutional provisions, stipulations. Again, pensioners are due for another 5-yearly review this year, 2020, as required by law. We therefore request, sir, that you use your good offices through the entire Senate and as a most pensioner-friendly person that we have. Our command to correct these irregularities so that pensioners can enjoy their rights under the law. I'm happy, distinguished chairman, sir, that you two are a pensioner. And where there are pensioners in this country makes my heart bleed.
All right, welcome back. That was the voice of the National President of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners, talking about Dr. Abel Afolayo. The Southwest Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners, talking about Comrade Olusegun Abatan, also made a presentation before the Senate Committee on Establishment and Public Service. Let us also listen to his own perspective.
Our very distinguished chairman, Your Excellency, and distinguished senators. The area, our president has mentioned the area of minimum pension. We are all in agreement that there should be minimum pension. The reason is this, sir. The reason is that each time minimum wages are done for workers, the provision that the same thing should be done for pensioners are never done. And what are the implications of that? The implications have been said here. My chairman from Jigawa said pensioners there earn 3,000. I want to tell you, as unquote, sophisticated the Southwest governors may appear, we have pensioners that earn 750 naira. 750 naira a month. 750 naira. In Osun State, we have pensioners that earn 500 naira in a month. That is discriminatory. And that is why I said here in my paper that we want to appeal to you, sir, that even though the president has said 30,000, but we are saying that at least you should help us legislate so that at least 80% of the minimum wage of workers should be given to pensioners. That is, like this 30,000. You can legislate that at least the pensioner, a minimum pension for any pensioner should not be less than 22,500 or 25,000. That will be better than somebody earning 750. You can imagine the situation, those that are earning 750 naira. But again, granting this minimum wage, sir, before now, sir, circulars on pension increases have been issued as a blanket thing. We want, and I want to quote this, I said granting a blanket figure as pension increase to all categories of pensioners as had happened in the past will only widen the gap between the haves and the have-not among pensioners. So we are saying that if we have 80% for the lowly pensioners, like those that earn 750 naira, then we can graduate by a kind of pro rata or consequential adjustment, so that those I hope there, like Your Excellency, we'll have your pension increase by 40%. 80 minimum, 40% to those that earn very high. Because if you now say, all right, as we are expecting a circular for minimum pension, our pension increase. If you say, okay, give pensioners 150% pension increase. If you do that across board, you will not be doing those at the low level of pensioners. We won't be doing them good. Because if you put 150% on 750 naira, and you put 150% on somebody, a pensioner that earns 500 naira, let us see what happens. So we'll be having that gap. So we want a kind of pro-rating, 80% for the low pensioners and 40% for the highest. Then we can choose, then yes, we can bridge the disparity. And then it will also help government. Because instead of government paying 150%, for example, increase to the highest person, he said he's just paying 40%. And so government will be able to afford money for the low pensioners. The counterpart fund, yes, I want to dwell a little bit on this. The 5% counterpart fund to local government pension boards was done by the federal military government. And I'm sure, Your Excellency, when you were governor, at that time, if it had not been removed by the federal government, those in the local government, that is, those that earn their salaries in the local government, like local government pensioners, retired primary school teachers, will be having a good day. But, sir, immediately this 5% was removed, the entire country was in problem. But pensioners at the local government in the whole country are in trouble. I don't think there's any state in the federation that is not owing retired local government pensioners and retired primary school teachers. In Imo State, it is 70 months of unpaid pension. 70 months of unpaid. In my state, or your state, Ajimobi was owing 56 months of unpaid pension until I took him to court. Yes, until I took Ajimobi to court, he was owing our retired primary school teachers and local government pensioners 56 months of unpaid pension. And the result, sir? We won. And we thank God that the new man was adhering to the arrangement that we have at the court, industrial court. The man is paying. And many of them that will have died of hunger. In fact, let me tell you, some of our members died of ordinary wheat loaf, looking for 500 naira to buy bread for wheat loaf. They were unable to get 500 naira, and then tetanus entered it, and the person died. The man that died because he could not afford 500 naira to take care of his wheat loaf was being owed 4 million naira by government. That is the situation. So we want to appeal to you, sir, like my president has said. Please, if it is in my submission, I want to say that if the military government, let me quote, if the military government saw the need to come to the aid of local government pensioners and gave this assistance of 5% counterpart fund as palliative, should a democratically elected government stop it? Rather, Your Excellency, sir, and distinguished senators, we want you to please help us bring this 5% counterpart fund back on board. And sir, if you do that, within 1 year, you will see that many of our pensioners, retired primary school teachers and local government will live longer than now. Many are dying like droves. They are dying like droves. Yes. Now, about this 5% thing, I attached here with the circular. The original circular by military government in 1987. And the opening speech of that circular states, and I quote, as agreed at CS 87, second meeting conclusion 415, it is imperative to do everything to avoid a situation, Your Excellency, whereby local government staff will be exposed to uncertainties in future in relation to their entitlement benefits. Military government. Military government. To this end, the following guidelines have been approved. I have, put that in my submission to you. So please, Your Excellency, distinguished senators, help us push this thing back and let our people have a breath of life. The last one about pensioners under contributory pension scheme. It's very short. This paper will not be complete if a mention is not made of pensioners under the contributory pension scheme. While the scheme is applauded as well thought out, the implementation has become a sore thumb to the concerned pensioners. The problem lies in the federal government's inability to pay promptly the accruals to these pensioners. Accruals. To the extent that many of them have not been paid in the last 18 months. Somebody that had had salaries for 35 years, he retired and has not been paid anything in the last 18 months. The non-payment of accruals is the reason many state workers do not want to key into the contributory pension scheme. Many state workers, they don't want to touch it. We urge the Senate to please look critically into this issue of unpaid accruals and fashion out how the entitlements of these pensioners will be paid as and when due. It is pertinent in conclusion to appeal to the National Assembly, starting from the Senate, Your Excellency, the imperative of amending the law that established the contributory pension scheme to include the mandatory payment of 1% of the pension, of the pension of these pensioners under the contributory pension scheme. This will afford them to unionize and have a voice in the scheme of things that closely affect them. I thank you very much.
Welcome back. The program is Voice of Liberation. The voice you just heard was that of the Southwest Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners, Comrade Olusegun Abaton, during his presentation at a recent meeting with the Senate Committee on Establishment and Public Service in Abuja. And of course, the chairman of that committee, Ibrahim Shekarau, who is a former governor of Kano State, promised the pensioners that their plight will be looked into. We can only hope so at this point. But let me ask the comrade who is with me this morning, in the studio talking about the chairman of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiran. Two issues here. The first is the issue of minimum pension we were talking about, and then that of the counterpart fund. In fact, three issues. That of the contributory pension scheme. Okay, let's leave that of the minimum pension aside, which is mandatory. Let's look at the issue of the counterpart, 5% counterpart fund he raised.
Should we leave that issue of the minimum pension even?
Okay.
No. You see, it is in a country like ours. Now, government cannot control inflation. Government has no control over prices. Government left everything to the interaction of the forces of demand and supply. Why should wage increase, pension increase be subjected to periodic review?
Why shouldn't
We have leaders that are lackadaisical in their attitude, leaders that I don't believe a lot of them have human feelings. Unfortunately, if anything tampers with their own, even the senators, they will want a way of strangulating the executive. Maybe they come with a list, they will reject it, they come with budget, they will pad it or throw it out. What do they want? They wanted rice in their pay. Or they wanted palliatives.
Or cars.
Then why should you now subject somebody that spent all his life or her life serving the nation to penury? And you now increase after 5 years. Even the active workers. It's never done like this in Senate climes.
So what are you suggesting?
We are saying if government has no control over the forces, over price, over inflation, over all those indices that affect and thin down the power of the wages, government should also behave like other developed nations or developing nations where wages are reviewed based on the various indices that determine what the wages actually is.
Is that possible in Nigeria? Is that possible?
It might look like an Herculean task, but if the government of the day want to start it, they will have left a legacy. And the number one way of starting it is for us to have a reliable database of workers, pensioners, population, all the data we are having. I can say it with all my mouth that they are just concocted. All right. They are estimated.
Comrade, let's look at the issue of the contributory, the 5% counterpart
Yes, the 5% counterpart fund. I don't know. You see, when some people in their own thoughts, they sit at a corner of their room, and let me just say that the removal was done not because it was a disservice to the pensioners.
Okay.
They didn't actually look at it like that. It was they remove it to feather some other people's nest and pockets.
What difference would it have made if we had the 5% counterpart fund?
Look at 5% of 5 billion. You know what that means? Give it to the local government. Like in Oyo State, if not for the out-of-court settlement, we don't know what we would have been saying now. Because I'm very sure the government of the day then knew they were losing the case. In fact, they would have lost the case outright.
Okay.
So they quickly put things together and they settled for out-of-court settlement. If that fund had been available, I'm very sure the pensioners being owed, how much is the pensioners pay when you compare it to the total expenditure of the state? So now look at it around the federation. That noise is state, Imo, 70 months. What will those pensioners, and these are people that are no more agile, these are people that can no more jump, these are people that can no more move up and down to look for means. To look for ways to make the ends meet. So I just see it as carelessness.
Okay, let's talk about the issue of the contributory pension.
So let me just add my voice to what the chairman and the the PRO of the Southwest pensioners had just said, it is better that this country takes care of its elder statesmen. Maybe, just maybe, is why we've never got it right. Unfortunately, majority of our leaders today, they are even older than some of Nigerian pensioners. But people like that, because maybe they had silver spoons still in their mouth. Not that they were born with it. A lot of them, their parents were in penury. But they rose up in ranks or whatever, and they had that silver spoon in there, and they never released it. They may never think of those that are currently living in penury. But it will bode well for them to think of the elder statesmen. Look at, in other nations, they care for these people because they know and their wisdom is still needed. Their impact is still being felt, if not by the state at large, but by their families.
Okay, comrade, I can feel your passion. But let's take the issues as they are. I mean, we've been talking about all these things. We can only hope that one day we'll have a government that will definitely listen and do what is necessary. Let's talk about...
We pray so, but we must also continue to talk, shout, and fight.
Let's talk about the contributory pension scheme. Is it working? For those of you who are still in service, are you planning to be part of it? Are you trying to enroll your members in this?
I thank God Oyo State has not been part. And as long as it is being implemented the way it is being implemented, even at the federal level, Oyo State workers will continue to resist to enroll into the CPS.
Why?
It's a fraud. It's a fraud. It's a scam. It's just a way to allow some few to steal the money of many, the sweat of many. And go and look at them. They never end well, and they will never end well if they continue that way. You use law to compulsorily deduct from the take home, the supposedly take home of a serving worker over a long period of time that workers remain active in the public workforce. And by the time, look at, you had Comrade Abatan well, there is what is called accruals. That is, for the numbers of years you have worked, what should have accrued to you, that the government, the CPS should rather make available immediately you retire. It's never paid. Look, there was somebody that was very close to me, a professor in UI, who was compulsorily retired. He fought till he died. He never collected his CPS. Barrister Femi Aborishade was the solicitor to that professor. I wouldn't mention his name because it's now late. These are the type of scam we have. And you still, from this money, yes, it should be invested. You invest this money, those that borrow from the money, don't let us mention. A neighboring state here, borrow from that money. For repayment to start, it was almost a tug of war.
And that brings us to the federal government's move to also, intention to dip its hand there and take 2 trillion.
That is it. That is it. Because they said that fund is now 10 trillion naira. On paper. Yes. That's what we know. Yes. If you have that fund and you are not paying the contributors, is that money available? Really? And a former chairman of that fund took some trillions of money.
So what would you rather we have in terms of our pension system?
Continue with, if the CPS could have been a very fine program, well documented but poorly implemented. So if implementation is going to be killing Nigerians in droves, let's revert back to the defined benefit system.
It's Voice of Liberation on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Agbarigo Onireke Ibadan. 0908-111-1067. 0908-111-1067. 0808-1010-1067. 0808 010 1067. Hello, good morning. All right. Now, we have to continue with the program this morning. Only yesterday, a group of young men stormed Pensioners FM and lodged a complaint against the Oyo State Traffic Management Authority. And they are claiming what they called extortion and harassment. They were led by a young man, Akonde Segun. Let's listen to their growls.
My name is Akonde Segun, sir. We are from National Union, the Department of National Union for Transit. So what really happens is that our governor has made the new laws of not carrying passenger in the front, as in carrying only 3 at the back. The thing isn't convenient for us, but we have to abide with it, no matter what. Because while we are carrying 4 passengers before, the money isn't up to our target self due to lack of passengers in the street. And as in, I think there are more transporters in the city right now. So that thing affected our business a lot. But we have to abide with the rules of carrying 3. But what really happens now is that these people called OTMA are now going beyond what we think is expected. I think now whoever they arrested, maybe for overloading or this, they will have to give him 2 accounts to pay money into, which is the minimum of 20,000 naira. You pay 15,000 into one account and 5,000 to another account. Which this thing.
Sorry, let's get it straight.
Okay.
They are asking you to pay how much?
20,000 naira.
For what?
For
monthly or yearly?
No, for overloading. Once they catch you like this, for as in to penalize you. Even if they catch you twice in a week, you have to pay twice a week, and which is not convenient. We are suffering. Now, around 7:30 p.m. yesterday, they came to our park again to come and carry us from where we parked. The place we are loading. The government did not prepare for garage. They did not create any garage for us. So where did you want us to be loading? Where did you want us to be carrying passengers to feed our families? And I think we have the right to hold this. Once we are paying the revenues, the tickets you are selling. Before, we normally buy these tickets at the rate of 50 naira. The ticket is now 200 naira. We are buying it, we are purchasing it, we have our tickets with us. So where did you want us to get all this money? This thing is getting out of hand.
Sorry, I thought the government said it has reduced the ticket to 100 naira.
The ticket, you can say the ticket is 100 naira. After collecting all this outside money, or what do they call it? It's even, it will equivalent to 200 naira. And all these things now, you know. So the time, we don't know this thing. As in yesterday evening, we believe that.
Yesterday, that is on Thursday.
Thursday, yes, on the 5th.
7 p.m.
Yes, we believe government workers closes around 4 or so. But these people, around 7:30 p.m., they came to our park us again. Now they are requesting for another 20,000 naira. Hi.
Did you flout the rule?
At all.
Did you flout the overload?
As in those tricycles and motorcycles they picked yesterday, so they arrested yesterday, were not with passengers. We are still on the queue in our park.
Where is your park?
At roundabout, Mokola.
Is it a recognized park or you guys made the park for yourself?
Thank you, sir.
Because we have been using it over 10 years.
Thank you, sir, for that question.
Yes.
We are the one that organized the park, and it's a recognized park because we've been using it before the flyover bridge rises there. So we have been there now, and I think if the government wants us to move away from that place, they have to create an option for us. So you did not create alternative for us. How did you want us to feed our family? Do you want us to be robbing? And I think each and every one of us that are here has his or his own family that is catering for. Like me now, I took my daughter, youngest one, to hospital yesterday. So, see.
Now, let's take it, thank you very much. Let's take it up one after the other. You said No. Have you got any information from the government or any directive to stop using that park?
Nothing like that. Okay. Commissioner of Transport maybe 2 or 3. My name is Folarin Ayodele. Okay. Commissioner of Transport came 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. He said we should not park on the road.
Commissioner of
Transport. Works. Yes, I mean, and transport. He came at least 2 or 3 weeks. He said we should not park on the road, and they gave us the place that will be parking our vehicle.
The commissioner gave you?
Yes. Now they came with this VIO, all of them. They came, the officers.
Is it just by mouth he gave you, or is there a written document?
No, nothing any written. It's by mouth. Okay. And they gave everybody and all this bus, Mikra, whatever. So that is it. Has nothing like.
So what exactly do you want the government to do? Number one, if I got you right, you said when your members fall foul of the new directive,
yes,
you are billed 20,000 naira.
Yes.
And of which there are 2 accounts you pay into.
Yes. We don't know the second account. And that second.
So if you don't know the second account, where are you paying it into?
We don't know. That is what we want to find out.
It's a personal account.
And we got this account.
Yes, sir. One account here is First Bank, Yab Ventures, which you have to pay 5,000 naira into. And the second account is Oyo State Government's account, which is Zenith Bank. Okay. You have to pay 15,000 into that one.
Okay, so what's your complaint now?
Our complaint now,
we have 2 complaints. Okay. The first one, we want to know where are we paying this second account. We want to know the account.
What's the name of that account?
YB Yab Ventures.
YAB
Yes,
Ventures.
Yes now.
That's
and
5,000 naira there.
Yes.
And that of the government you pay 15,000.
Yes. Okay. And the second one, these people are coming to harass our people.
Embarrassing us.
We are not in the night by 7:30. They came to arrest people and carry their vehicle, which is not good. So we want you to come in and intervene into this program, please.
Okay. So what specifically do you want to tell Mr. Governor? Because what you are saying now, we are going to. I want you to talk to Mr. Governor.
We are set to abide with the rules, but for them to be coming and embarrassing our people, carry their vehicle, we don't want it.
I was not there.
Yes.
But you started by saying that official working hours ends by 4 o'clock, yes, right?
Yes.
And then these people still come after 4.
After 4.
7:30. Don't you think that after 4, your people, because they think that work has closed,
yes,
would want to take advantage of that time and start breaking the laws?
Nothing like
Has
that.
it not been happening like that?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
You have been maintaining the law.
Exactly.
You have any other thing to say?
Actually, all I want to tell our governor is just to have mercy on us, because this burden is too much for us. It's getting out of hand, sir. You should just please consider us as a human being like he does. So that's all.
But you are agreeing that you are abiding by the new law.
Laws of overloading. We are ready to abide with it. But all this coming around 6, 7 to the park and even grabbing you on the place, not that maybe you causes an obstruction or something, but the place that we were given, even if it's not written or so, because I think if the government want to make this thing something for us, it should provide a garage for us. So if anyone do now is not ready to stay in the garage that go beyond the place, you know that one should be penalized. But now there's nothing like that, and we have to feed our family. Okay, sir.
You yourself, I'm sure that you are the leaders of your groups.
Okay, sir.
What are the things? Have you put in place anything to make sure that members of your group comply with the law? Those who fail to comply, what do you do to them?
Thank you, sir. As I'm standing in front of you, I'm a National Union officer. So the time the National Union still existed in Oyo State, you know, now there are some
National Union of
Road Transportation Workers. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we have our own rules and regulations that comply with the rules of government. You understand? So once, as we have some task force working with us, once you that is a member refuse to abide with the law, maybe parking on the wrong side of the road or causing obstruction, we can go to your tube, deflate your tire, call the police officer to come and arrest you. So once they delay or detain your tricycle for a while, when they leave you, next time, the minute you lost and the money you didn't make at that moment will let your head be okay.
Okay. All right. I want to thank you for the complaints that you have come to lodge here.
Thank you, sir.
And also for identifying our media organization as capable of assisting. Of course, we are here for the public. When we have issues like this, our own is to take it to the government. You understand? So we will do our job as the media, and then we expect that the government will respond to some of these allegations that you have laid. But most importantly, I must thank you people for not taking to violence, but most importantly, taking to a peaceful approach to the issue.
Thank you, sir.
I want to believe that the government will definitely do its part.
Okay, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
So just bear with the situation, and let's see what comes out of it at the end.
Thank you, sir.
We'll try to reach out to the government side.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
God bless you, sir.
God bless you, sir. Thank you.
All right, you just heard the voices of some gentlemen who stormed Pensioners FM yesterday to lodge complaints against the Oyo State Traffic Management Authority. We promised we were going to reach out to the government, and indeed, we reached out yesterday at the Secretariat, where we spoke with the commander of the Oyo State Traffic Management Authority, Mr. Adeoye Ayade. Please, let's also get his own version of this story.
My name is Adeoye Ayade. I'm the State Commander, Oyo State Road Traffic Management Authority. It is called Oyo State Road Traffic Management Authority Law 2009. And this law was to establish the Oyo State Road Traffic Management Authority to regulate, to control, and to manage traffic and for other matters connected with it. Now, part of the functions of the agency is to conduct highly visible day and night traffic patrol to enforce traffic rules and regulations and clear the highways of obstruction. The information got into your stations are not true. Number one, it was not yesterday we started the enforcement of Operation One Passenger. The Operation One Passenger enforcement started far back January 5, after about 4 months of sensitization and awareness. But yesterday, we started the night enforcement, which is within the law that established this agency. At Mokola, at Iwo Road, at Gate, and at Toll Gate yesterday. And that's how it will continue. The public living around that axis always experience gridlock whenever they are going either for their personal engagement or going home, both in the morning and in the night, just like yesterday. And if you get there, not that anything seriously happened, down those that are loading at obstruction, parking anyhow, and causing this obstruction, all these places, that has been the causes of the gridlock along that axis. And as regards the issue of fine, the law I'm holding here explicitly gave out the fine for each of the offences to the extent that those that fail to paint their either bike or motor or tricycle their proof or just a color, there is stipulated fine for it. The state government has given us a mobile court whereby the court will try all the traffic offenders, and what they will try them on is in this law that establish us. Those that found at obstruction, there is penalty for it. Those that found taking more than one passenger, there is penalty for it. Yesterday, around past 10 yesterday in the evening, we were at toll gate where we cleared that toll gate of the trailers that parked there. Having informed them that that place is not meant for trailer park. The government has provided two places in Ibadan now. One at Sanyo that can contain 250 trailers at a time. One at Akele that can contain more than 1,000 trailers at a go. So why are they still adamant in parking on the road by the media of the expressway. And this fine I've talking about is what anybody can contest in the court of law. Every Wednesday and Thursday, we do have, you also can come, we do have sitting, Tuesday, Thursday, every Tuesday, Thursday. I think it's 9 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday. Just come around, you can come and witness the sitting. The magistrates, not the staff of this place, magistrates. So this is what is being done here. Then this morning, if you see outside, you see some vehicles outside of unloading. You see them taking the load far above the something. All this also they say they want to collect the tickets, and we say no. This will come on Tuesday when the mobile court will be sitting. So they come and face the court. There's some issue that among these fines, there's some fine that it's not monetary fine. It is impoundment. Impound them for a month. Some seize their driving license for a month. Some they will serve punishment. That's the degree of the punishment here. So those that have not been given the fine ticket, we ask them to come back on Tuesday to the magistrate mobile court. So that was really happened.
Now I have a few questions for you, sir.
Okay.
The first question is, you talked about the trailers,
Yes,
how
sir.
that they have parks.
Yes, sir.
But they are flouting that.
Yes, sir.
But this set of people I'm talking about, they are Okada riders and they are tricycle riders, and they are complaining that nobody gave them anywhere to even make park of their own. In fact, at some point, they even claimed that the commissioner for works about 2-3 weeks ago showed them a place to be parking, but that they should not go towards the road. Can you confirm that?
Thank you, sir. We were together with Commissioner of Works and the Chief PIUS in the state about 3 weeks ago, where we moved around almost all the places in Badanye, where we showed them where they be parking. About 4 weeks ago. Last week, SA Security to the executive governor of your state, retired Commissioner of Police, Fatai Osheni, myself, the ACP operation and the DPO Mokola were at Mokola. Just, I think it should be Thursday last week. Yes, this SA called all of us. So we met at Mokola under the bridge. So we moved around all the Mokola. We showed them when you are coming from in front of the Mr. Beast, when you are going towards the Dallas. So from that roundabout to the edge of Mr. Beast, nobody should park there. So from the edge of the Mr. Beast down, they can be loading their passenger. That's that side. And on these Hausa places, what they call Sabo line, all those machines in front of that police station at that junction, we ask them to move down that side. Now, this Wema, those makers at Wema, we ask them to move towards that end, to move away from that place. They are in front of First Bank here. We ask them to leave that bank, to move to in front of the petrol after bank. Now, that was where we gave them. That's Thursday last week. Could you believe that yesterday, when we got yesterday, we still met them from the Mr. Big side here. We met them at the edge of this place, where the bike. I don't know if you know that place. You see the market people, they've already displayed their wares under the bridge. Those are selling jeans, selling shoes, and you see them on the road, not on that pavement, on the road. Display their wares there. So the Okada and the marijuana, almost cover the half of the road. Those that are selling their wares, they're on the road. Marijuana and Okada now in front of those. So almost half of the road is cut off. So the volume are coming, this is how the vehicle are coming. When they get that place, they have to come like this. That's called the hold up and grid lock. Because when you are coming this way, just make this about 4 vehicles coming together now. When you get there, this is about 2 vehicles now. You need to piling up, you'll be coming up, piling up. That was called grid lock. And that side also, some also be developing faults. So that's what's called grid lock around that place, around that Mokola. If you go to Mokola, there's no how you just find this grid lock. I will get there, not that anything happen down this careless parking, careless picking the passenger. Carefree attitude. Because yesterday we started the night operation. It's true. And like I read it to you here, it's part of the.
One more question that has to do with this issue of back to the issue of finance. So you have not cleared. You have not cleared that aspect. Yes, that issue of separate accounts.
Okay.
I want you to clear that because they are very concerned about that.
Okay, thank you, my brother. You said
the YAB, does it exist?
Yes. But the information you brought is correct. YAB is a consultant. No, that's what is called PPP, public-private partnership. It's consultants. Going by the number of the going by the population of Oyo State, we're about 7 million plus in Oyo State. In Ibadan alone, we are 4 million plus in Ibadan alone. And the number of staff we have here, we are less than 150 of our staff. So just suppose those two things. I mean that we are like 0.0008 compare the number of staff of Otima to the what we are asked to do here. So we need the cooperation and assistance of other people outside. That's what brought in this PPP, and it's a consultant registered. Understand? And you see, the money they are paying, no one of them is paying a single couple year. They pay money to the bank. I know the money they pay to the bank goes straight to the TSA whatever. And that one also, like I said, is registered and it goes to that place. But thank God that none of them said they are paying money here. But you said something that some are paying 1, 2. That is a lie as well. Nobody is spending money here.
Lastly, they are begging for a kind of consideration that amount is too much. Yes. Is the government working towards that?
Government is not working towards that. Our government here in Oyo State is out there to consider everybody. But there's an issue. I've been telling you that this is what government wants. What we are doing, the policy is for the safety of life and property of the citizens. But why do you want to kill yourself? Don't carry more than 1 passenger. It is for the safety of people you carry. In December alone, we had close to 40 cases of accident in December alone in Ibadan alone. And out of these 39 to precise, we had 9 deaths. Out of these 39 cases of accidents. And these people, out of these 9 deaths we have, none of them is driver or rider. They are passengers that carry either on bike or inside the vehicle. Marwa. We have the pictures here with us. Most of these things were dropped at the UCH mall. And we are saying that these people don't do this thing. If you carry more than 1 passenger, if you meet emergency, maybe something just cross your road or you met a pothole on the road, for you to maintain your stability, for you to swap becomes problem.
Hey, welcome back. The program is Voice of Liberation. My name is PIUS NSABE. The voice you just listened to was that of the commander of your State Traffic Management Authority, OITMA, talking about Mr. Adeoye Ayoade, of course, reacting to the allegations of extortion and harassment leveled against that agency by some motorcycle and tricycle riders in Ibadan metropolis, those around the Mokola axis to be precise. 0908 111 1067, 0908 111 1067, 080 010 1067, 080 010 1067. You can call in and, of course, share your own perspective with us on some of the issues that we have discussed this morning. Meanwhile, I still have a labor leader with me in the house this morning, the chairman, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, Oyo State Chapter. I'm talking about Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiran. This is your jurisdiction.
Yeah, thank you very much. You don't fight law. You don't fight government. Government is law. Government is meant to implement, protect the law. I can tell you these people, the tricycles, they call themselves, they have been wrong. And they are highly recalcitrant. It's not only them.
Okay, we have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, Mr. John Joko.
Thank you. If the money that was paid to the government account, that allegation cannot be said to be extortion. John Joko is my name.
Thank you very much.
No, it has been proven, Mr. John, that there is no extortion there because they pay directly to the bank. Whoever, the only thing is, which I want to say before I go to the nitty-gritty of it, whoever is demanding cash from them among the officers of OTMA, yes, they can report that.
But they also raise the issue of perhaps the fine being too much, and then the issue of park.
Look, that is why it is a fine. Look, do they want something that will be so comfortable for them to pay, and they will still continue to fly the law? No, that fine is still okay. It's either you obey the law or you pay the fine. You pick one. Okay. And I want to say that the group, as led by Mr. Segun Akande, they said they are tricycle departments in the National Union. They are in the wrong union. And I want anybody to come and challenge me. There is a registered and recognized union for the tricyclists, the Tricycles Owners Association of Nigeria, called TWAN. That is the right union. They are fighting their cause under the wrong union, and you will never, among those that came to complain, they are the so-called NURTW tricyclists. And there's nothing. NURTW. No, it's wrong. Everything is wrong. When there was no union for them, yes, look at the civil service. When there was no union for the senior civil servant, all civil servants will belong to the umbrella Nigeria Civil Service Union. But immediately the Association of Senior Civil Servants was created. Then some people moved. In the bank, it was National Union of Bank, Insurance and Financial Institution employees. Okay. But once a senior counterpart is created, you have NUBIFI for the junior, ASBIFI. NURTW is for four-wheelers.
Okay.
That is it.
All right.
So what I'm saying is they are fighting their cause under the wrong umbrella, under the wrong platform. You will never see a TWAN member. And two, they create garages for themselves. It's still disobedience. It is the local government that's supposed to give them garages. If you ask any TWAN member, they apply to the local government gave them the parks where they operate. And you will never find those people flouting the government.
But they are claiming that the Commissioner for Works actually asked them
if the Commissioner for Works sit on the seat I'm sitting now, he will tell you where is the evidence. See, there are certain things that are supposed to be done. But once it involves easy, fast, daily money, our people are ready to do anything to make that money. And that is what is killing us.
All right.
And that is why Nigerian laws is always at a risk.
It's still Voice of Liberation on Pensioners 106.7 FM, Agbarigo Onireke Ibadan. 0908 111 1067 0908 111 1067 0808 010 1067 0808 010 1067. We still expect your contribution on some of the issues that we have raised on the program this morning. Hello, good morning. All right, now, comrade, we have to move to another issue of interest, and that is talking about the passage into law of the Amoteku bill. In fact, as I speak with you, we understand that the Ondo State governor has already assented to that bill in that state. And here in Oyo State, we saw a scenario where the lawmakers, on the day they were to pass that bill into law, spotted the Amoteku.
It is not only in Oyo State. If you watch that of Ogun State too, okay. So all of them, I think it is bringing an information. What is supposed to be done that was not done is now being done through another means. I won't even say through the back door.
Okay.
It's now being done through another means. You see, we have found security should be a matter of the federal government. What has federal government got to do with agriculture? Which farmer has federal government got? What has federal government got to do with education? Which student has the federal government got? There are some areas the federal government has delved into that is hampering the performance of its real duty. Security is supposed to be the job of the federal government. And even where you know you are not capable of doing it, you invite other stakeholders. The state government are willing, but they want to use that federal might, the federal might that has been whistled down somehow. You knew the drama that came on board before each state houses of assembly in the region now start passing the law. The bill.
Yes.
Had it been the federal government did? You see, there are ways. People have been clamoring for. We, even the labor movement, we are supporter of restructuring this whole system. This system that was forced on us.
Because if you look at the trend now, the South governors just came out
They will.
to confirm that
I think the Northwest now.
the Northeast.
The Northeast, yes. Okay, where the real insurgents.
Yes.
They are. I think their thinking cap is now rightly put on because the Southwest started.
Where is all this leading us to? Like I asked during my intro,
You have just said it. You have just said it. When order fail to take preeminence from above, I won't call it chaos, but style will start to take preeminence from below. And I believe this is a signal to the federal government. Convoke a real stakeholders meeting. Do we want to remain as one Nigeria? Under what platform? Under what style? Look, that so-called federalism is not helping us. We have just talked of pension. For your state to pay pension, it has to wait for directive from the federal government. For your state to pay salary, it has to wait for directive from the federal government. For your state to do anything, it has to go to Abuja to go and share money. Whereas all natural resources in Oyo State is being directly or somehow directed to be mined by the federal government, leaving the state destabilized and all the income going to the federal government. Where is that done, for God's sake? How do you want that state to survive when you are just mining all this? That is why the the noise before the derivative was actually entrenched. You know the noise that was being made by the Southeast people, where this oil are being gotten from. Their environment is being degraded, and money is being taken to the federal to be shared. Look, what has Yobe, Samfara, Kano, what have they got to do with oil? And they share they have very large share because they have very large land mass. No, that is wrong.
In 2014, when former President Goodluck Jonathan convoked a national conference, he gave a no-go area, and that was the fact that Nigeria's unity is not negotiable.
It is that unity, it is that no-go area that are now subjecting themselves to negotiation.
Shouldn't we be talking more of perhaps what we call quote and unquote now true federalism?
That is, I said it's wrong federalism. Wrong federalism. And that is the fact. So if those people sitting at the top, they think they can use federal might, you can only suppress some people some of the time. You cannot suppress all the people all of the time.
All right. Now, as the...
imagine some headsmen coming to my father's land to come and... it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. And they now introduce system to them that will enable them to cage the animals, and they stop behaving animalistic in the way, and they are refuting it.
Okay, no. let's listen to the lawmakers upon passage of the Amotekun bill on that day. The sponsor of that bill, the chairman of the Security Committee, Honorable Obadara, spoke, and later on the speaker of the assembly spoke. Talking about the Oyo State Assembly now. Let's listen to what they said.
Some of these people have been with us for the past 70, 80, 100 years. We go to their areas, at least some of them are majority in that area, because Amatekun is mainly for the community it belongs to. So for the security, if they can be included in their own, so just for their own security, I don't think there's anything that bad from that for including them.
This outfit will be responsible for rapid economic development in terms of agriculture, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of peace and stability. So we are very optimistic that the Southwest and Oyo State are on the path for rapid, fast development. In a matter of weeks or months, I can assure you that the Southwest governors, our governor, we are eager to make sure that we have the corps on the ground running. As you can see, we have vehicles, and we're even going to purchase even more vehicles in order to support them, in order to give them all the things that they need to secure the lives and properties of the Oduduwa people.
All right, you're welcome back. You just listened to the voice of the Chairman Security Committee of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Honorable Obadara, and of course that of the Speaker of the House, talking about Right Honorable Adebo Ogundoyin, speaking on the passage of the Amoteku bill by the House. Now, Honorable Badara raised something which has to do with the fact that if the Mieti Allah insists or, wants to be part of the security structure, they should be given the opportunity to do so, since some of them have practically lived all their lives here in the Southwest. He mentioned 60 to 70 to 80 years that some of them have lived here. What do you make of that?
Oh, yeah. That is the House of Assembly for you. But I'm very sure in the real implementation, does the Mieti Allah know the meaning of Amotekun?
For a Mieti Allah who has been living here for 80 years, why wouldn't such a Mieti Allah know the meaning of Amotekun?
It's a lie. The culture of the Mieti Allah, go to wherever they are, wherever they congregate, their tradition, their culture still takes preeminence. And therefore, that tells you there has not been full integration. And until there is full integration, that trust may just be lacking. And once that word, trust, is lacking, it's like just I'm putting a bed under me and I'm planting corn. I'm planting maize. What will happen? The maize will the bed will continue to devour the maize. Once I move, it will devour. Once I move, it will devour. So I'm very sure the Southwest people, we are more sensible, we are more, at least we have this cognizance of the fact that once you put an intruder, then the operation may not likely succeed. It's not that they will not be considered, but not joining. I'm very sure.
Is it an issue of trust?
That is exactly what is ripping this country apart. Trust.
But when are we going to start trusting one another?
Maybe.
If I have lived with you for 80 years, 70 years, and you still cannot trust me.
You still do something that is contrary to my culture, that is contrary to the law of my land. Why would I trust you?
Is that not painting
when
a
you
whole
believe
group
in
of
the
people
federal mind? Look,
with the same brush?
PIUS, let's just talk it of it.
Why don't we begin to look at criminals for who they are, rather than attributing it to
people? They will not say they are criminals. If you call the spade a spade, some people they will just want to call it, it's a tilling material.
The point I'm trying to make is that even when we say that,
let me draw this analogy. Let me draw
by a set of people.
Let me draw this analogy. The law of the land, yourself, myself, we are not allowed to carry arms to safeguard ourselves.
Okay.
But those just looking after cattle, what law that failed to allow me to carry arms to safeguard myself allow them to carry arms? Sophisticated one for that matter.
Is it every one of them that carries arms?
When you look around, go and look at the number of how many of them just hold stick now. They hold AK-47.
Okay, we will be
back. Why would I trust somebody that is wielding a powerful arm?
We will be back to continue with the discussion after this short musical break. Please stay tuned.
The Fancy Records presents
they my friends, they bring up war. So much they my graduates, there's no place for them to work. Most of them are born, there's no work for them to do. What they might get, they just they more work, what with their obligations. Sir, what they might end, the money they might pay them is and to no. Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to live your style? Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to live your style? Tell me, is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to live your style? Oh my people, is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to live your style? Oh your children, is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to live your style? Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to touch your we got many millionaires, we get billionaires, spread the world. What all they do every day is to be skyscraper for themselves. Well, the youths are dying, some are trying to show the job to them. The masses are suffering, some are hopeless to show them. Whoa, see my people pushing, some are begging for some hunger. No, yes, it's not wrong, it's not wrong to do this. Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong? Did they must you now? Oh gosh, is it not wrong? Is it not wrong? Did they oh Jackie, is it not wrong? Is it not wrong? Did they let me go my treasure? Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong? Did they is it not wrong? Is it not wrong? To leave you no chatter. To live up to expectations, and you are not in this age just to live up to my own expectations. Once you do your thing, I do my own thing and to end. When you speak the truth, they will not hate you and let you die. Cause many people have gone from away from that good they speak. I said, many men have died just from a people where they can see. Some of these times to take was under by nuclear missiles. The people have died for many years because of freedom. I will never forget how they saw my forgiven and left me breathless. Lumumba has died, either way of the fight. Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to leave them alone? What did the children? Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to leave them alone? Is it not wrong to be your brother? Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to leave them alone? What did you them I say? Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to leave them alone? They you watch every day, watch out. Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to leave them alone? They must shake them up in the birthday. Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to leave them alone? Really, my brother, walk by walk. Is it not wrong? Is it not wrong to leave them alone? Is it not wrong?
Now to enjoy the radio. Purchase your track now. Welcome. Purchase your track now and receive an untapped version instantly.
You are most welcome back. My name is PIUS NSABE and the program is Voice of Liberation on Pensioners 106.7 FM, Agbarigo Onireke Ibadan, broadcasting live from the Oyo State Pensioners House, fondly called Africa's Model. I am not alone in the studio this morning. I have a labor leader, the chairman, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, Oyo State Council, Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiron. And of course, we still look forward to having our second guest on the program this morning. Comrade Ogundiron, it's still very good having you around.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here too.
Now, during the week, Nigeria emerged the largest economy
after South Africa went into recession. You know, there's been this competition between Nigeria and South Africa when it comes to the largest economy in the world. And so the moment South Africa, went back or went down, Nigeria took over. But the question on the lips of almost everybody, how has this our status affected us as a people?
Considering all indices of measuring economic stability, economic growth and development, have we surpassed South Africa, despite the fact that South Africa is currently in recession? No. We are the largest economy on the continent on paper. That's what I would say. On paper. What is our minimum wage saying? What is South Africa minimum wage saying? The living standard, indices of measuring standard of living in South Africa. How has Nigeria compared with that of South Africa? Our infrastructure, how have we compared? And I don't know, you see, maybe some people are doing some magic about calculating GDP index, some of which, or the GNI, some of which they use to determine how buoyant your economy is.
Maybe the economy is actually doing fine, but the money is not circulating. It's probably remaining in the hands of few.
How will the economy be doing
because
fine?
Sometimes it leaves us thinking people to wonder exactly how these figures come about.
I may be wrong, but I'm very sure Agbalude radio station is running on diesel by now. When your energy is nowhere to be found, what of our housing condition, transportation? Look, all these indices, compare them, go to South Africa, go and see what is happening there. In South Africa, if you are driving through and potholes damage your car, you can sue the government. When we have deep wells on our road here in Nigeria, not potholes, deep wells, who can you sue?
Perhaps the size of the economy is determined by the amount of resources. I mean, the amount of foreign exchange.
And the population is also there.
And the population.
So that's what I'm saying. If by whatever, if they don't consider all this infrastructure, the standard of living, the minimum wage, the disposable income, and this and that, do you know in South Africa, once you enter their airport, you cannot spend any other currency.
It has to be that they are rand.
It has to be the rand. And if you fail to change whatever foreign currency you are having at the airport, you have to go to their banks. In Nigeria, we still spend dollars in Nigerian markets. How can we develop using just look at all those things that I've been mentioning, and you now say we are the largest economy in Africa. Look, we should not allow those people to start deceiving us. What accurate data do they even have? What database? From where do they call their data? With which they calculate whatever calculation they came up with. I mean, all these things are deceit. And until we get it right, and one way of getting it right, I don't know when we are going to have our next census. You see, by the time the base of the data is factual, is real, that we can test over time, and that is the population, all other derivables from that data will be real, and it will be accurate. So until we get that one right, but if you continue to use landmass, if you continue to use who is the most godfather, if you continue to use, please do it this way, look, we can never get it right. And that's why Nigeria has never gotten it right.
It's still Voice of Liberation on Pensioners 106.7 FM, Agbarigo Onireke Ibadan. 0908 111 1067. 0908 111 1067. 0808 010 1067. We want to feel your pulse on some of the things that we have been discussing in the studio this morning. Comrade, let's talk a bit of politics. Every human being is a political animal, like they say. So whether you are a labor unionist or a labor leader,
You are one way or the other a politician, because what happens in politics definitely has one way or the other influence.
No,
on the
once our
generality of things.
discussion will not tend towards partisanship.
But
We
you are not
can
a-
we can comment, we can talk,
You are not a party
but
man.
we have been trained and brought up to be apolitical.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, my name is Christopher Mobili.
You're welcome on the program.
I am happy that the man on the radio is a labor leader. First and foremost, I want to touch on the issue of the pension,
Okay.
Yeah.
the contributory pension scheme.
Scheme, yeah. The contribution.
When this
pension
idea, when this idea was coming up during the era of our former President Olusegun Obasanjo,
Yes.
the Labour were fully in support of the idea. In fact, they went as far as trying to educate the populace that it's a good idea.
Oh, yes.
Well, I don't want to talk about what went on behind the curtain. But the fact of this contributing pension are very, very clear to those who are well informed. Contributing CPSC is a valuable idea on the side of the government. It helps the government, especially the kind of government that is trying to run away and share away from their responsibility, trying to put the body of pension payment or share the body of pension with the people. The idea of contributing pension helps the government to reduce the cost of running the country in terms of pension. Now, the people have to contribute 7.5% as minimum, the workers now. Then the government also, the employer, whatever, must also contribute minimum of 7.5%. But the fact of the matter is that at the end of the day, we discover that no government is contributing more than the minimum. Number two, at the end of the day, whatever a person will now begin to earn as pension or gratuity will be nothing compared to what it was before. Because no government is willing to contribute more than the minimum. The whole scenario was brought up so that the government can reduce the cost of pension they are paying to the people. It's good on their side, but the people are suffering. Now a professor at the university work for about 30 years, or maybe 35 years, maybe it's now 70 years, is contributing is 7.5%, and the government is also contributing their own 7.5%, as if they are doing it. At the end of the day, what is going to get will be far less from my own calculation, 45% lesser than what is supposed to get under the previous system.
Thank you very much.
You can see that this is what the people are now facing.
Thank you.
It's a good idea. Government can be safe in terms of spending, but the issue is we have the resources. Why are we now running away from being responsible?
All right, you may round off your thoughts. You may round off your
That's number one.
Thank you.
That's number one. Number two, on the issue of all these what do you call it, these recycle people who are packing on wrong places and all those stuff. I want to advise that the government is doing a good job to control the system through the garage manager, fine, but they should not operate without a solid platform. This will generate another thing and begin to create all kinds of problems all over the places.
Right.
Before you roll out a policy, there should be a platform that will mediate in case of any protest or whatever. They don't help us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. We sincerely appreciate your call on the program this morning. Comrade, well, you just heard him. I think he aligned himself practically with some of the things that you have said this morning on the program. It's still Voice of Liberation on Pensioners, 106.7 FM. Barigo Onireke Ibadan 0908-111-1067 0908-111-1067 0808-010-1067. I have the pleasure of having someone very special this morning in the studio. When I say very special, well, it's somebody I've worked very closely with in my former medium, and today she is here with me as a guest. I'm talking about the chairperson of the Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, Oyo State Chapter, Comrade Jadesola Ajibola. It's a pleasure having you here this morning.
Well, good morning, PIUS. Good morning, comrade. And good morning, Nigeria, the good people of Oyo State. Good morning to you.
I'm sure if you are a keen radio listener, you just can't miss this voice.
Well,
I'm sure you were on air this morning before coming here.
Well, part of it.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
So, how is Nawatch doing?
Well, we're doing our best to contribute to the development of our society and the nation at large.
Okay, and now it's my former home. Hope everyone is fine.
Well, we're also doing well over there.
Nice. You're looking beautiful.
Well, I'm trying.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So let's go straight to the issues that we have to talk about. First of all, as the chairperson of Nawatch in Oyo State.
Allow me to talk on this CPS. Just let me respond.
Okay, maybe you want to. All right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, then I leave.
Okay, all right.
The last speaker on the CPS tried subtly to indict the labor leaders. But I was very happy by the time he was contributing and tried to round up. He saw what the labor leaders saw. The defined benefit scheme, DBS, was failing. People were dying because they were unable to collect their gratuity on time after retirement. So, and we saw the DBA, we saw the CPS, we saw that, yes, if government can be faithful, and labor leaders, we have never at one time stopped saying, if the employer can, and this system has been successful in the private sector, for God's sake. So, why will it now come to the public sector and be a failure? That was our thought. That was what we believe. We saw.
I think he was saying you meant well, but along the line, a lot of things went wrong.
It was the chief employer, and that is the government. And we believe that if the government was honest with the paper that were presented and with the setup of the system would have been a hit.
Maybe you should continue to agitate for the government to do what is right.
We are not agitating.
You heard what
if the military and some paramilitary have opted out of the system, then what stops all others to opt out of the system? And that's why I said, I thank God, and maybe till I will run my tenure, Oyo State will continue to resist being enrolled on the CPS.
All right,
because the
thank you.
Has not been palatable.
Thank you so much, Comrade. Although we are still going to have you here, but let's focus a bit on our second guest. Talking about the Nawatch chairperson of Oyo State, Comrade Jadesola Ajibola. Now, recently, your office, released a press statement on the coronavirus as it has to do with children. What informed your decision to do that? Would you like to tell us?
Okay, first and foremost, let me say hi to Comrade Ogundere again, my big brother in the union. We're comrades, and one of those that initiated me into the comrade business. Okay, so let me quickly respond to what you've said. But before I start responding, let me first and foremost say happy International Women's Day to every woman in the world, and most importantly to women in Nigeria, and my own constituency in Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, or your state chapter. Of course, going back to the statement issued by Nawatch a couple of days ago, that came immediately. We learned that there was an outbreak of coronavirus in Nigeria. The first case was announced in Lagos. Now, why did we feel that we needed to issue that statement? Now, we noticed that it is only at a time when there's an outbreak of disease that the issue of hand washing comes up. I remember when I was growing up, the issue of washing of hands was part of our day-to-day activity as pupils in school. But unfortunately, in those days, there was pipe water running in every school. And so there was no how a school would say there is no water. And even in places where there was no water, there were this borehole in those days that were being put in by, foreign government through grants and all of that. So there is no how there will be no water. So one of the facilities you have in a school in those days, how public those schools were, would have water. And so washing of hands was part of our day-to-day activities, and we did it well. Now there was an outbreak that was announced in Lagos, and we felt children are one of the most vulnerable when it comes to such things. So we felt that there was a need for government to take an action to reach out to schools, public and private schools, to say, look, let's embark on massive hand washing. You will agree with me that when experts begin to talk, because I'm not an expert in the health sector, they say washing of hands regularly can help prevent the transfer of infectious, not coronavirus alone, but infectious diseases. And so we felt that at this point, corona was a point of call, and we needed to emphasize on it. And not only that, the parents, because the parents have a lot of work to do when it comes to care of their children. Some parents don't care if their children go to school with water to drink. Come to talk of washing of hands. Some children go into the toilet and come out without getting their hands washed. So that was the need that called for that press statement to say government should alert schools and alert parents on the. And of course, we sent it to many media houses. It was used in the print, the radio will use it, TV, even online medium also used it. And for us, these are the little ways we can contribute.
Now,
have
you gone around to monitor the level of compliance with what you are pleading for? If some schools are already adopting that, because I listened, I think I watched a program on TV on TV yesterday, and I saw that in Edo State, some schools are already doing what you are asking. To be done here in Oyo State.
Okay, one of the things at the point we issued that statement, we also didn't just issue a statement. We also reached out to TESCOM, reached out to NUT to say we need to do this. And in fact, at that point, when it happened, I was so touched that I ran into the market, bought some hand washing bowls and liquid soaps to be donated to schools. And in fact, let me say, as part of activity of marking International Women's Day, we have started our program since Thursday. We visited one of the school, Government College, Akpata, and we donated a bucket and liquid soap to them, and we did encourage them. We all practicalized it. We did a symbolic hand washing, and we said there was a need. And of course, we've tried to reach out to some other schools. We saw that some private schools have started doing it, and we're hoping that even after our discussion with the stakeholders, it also kickstart or will continue in some schools that have started. But let me say, the Ebola outbreak was the beginning of wisdom for so many schools.
Are we looking at sustaining that beyond just the coronavirus days?
Well, sustaining that cannot be done by just starting.
Because you are mothers now. You are mothers who happen to be in journalism. Are you looking at a way of always taking up as a responsibility to always sensitize parents and and teachers to continue with this kind of hygiene, like you said, in your days it used to be?
Well, let me quickly say that on Thursday we were with the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Inclusion, and part of our demand was to push forward the issue of hand washing, and she did make that promise that it's also a responsibility. She will take it forward to all the necessary persons to ensure that it continues. Let me also say that we're not going to stop there. As part of activities lined up for year 2020 for us in Nawaj, that was one of the things we laid down. We didn't even know there would be an outbreak of coronavirus, but we had our plans to visit schools, sensitization. And so these are part of the things that we will continue to do for the year 2020.
All right. I also saw you recently doing zebra crossing and all that. Why that?
These
are bad roads.
Yes.
To start with.
Yes. We consider the issue of bad roads. Let me say that when I came on board in 2018, November precisely, as the chairperson of NAWOJ, I looked around me. I've always had a lot of burden in my heart for women and children. And so I've looked at it that what can we do to change this situation around us. Let me quickly say that you might be surprised to know that I'm also a proprietress of a school. And so these are some of the things that I see on a daily basis. And I also want to see it happen. I've looked at it that the challenges of, children coming to school in the morning and being hit by, a vehicle has been a major challenge. Let me quickly note this. For every schools that we did in 2019 and that we did in 2020, in 2019 we did 8 schools, including the zebra crossing you have in front of the University College Hospital, the foremost hospital in West Africa, was done by NAWOJ. Now, we did that because we felt we cannot continue to talk about accident. We should be in the proactive, we should come from the proactive angle and see how we can prevent. rather than allow it to happen, and they'll begin to run to save lives.
Okay.
My knowledge was open some time ago to the fact that when there is an accident, to run ahead scan cost as much as 40,000. Then the question is, how much is a zebra crossing? Honestly, when we're going to do it, I thought it was a small project.
Is that a way of telling the government that, hey, there's still so much to be done?
Oh, there's a lot to do, unfortunately, for our government, whether the past or the present. When they are doing roads, they don't plan zebra crossing for those appropriate places. All the zebra crossings you see along Basharun Road, the road that is still ongoing, was done by Nawaj. Not just that, when we're doing that, one of the honorable, I would not mention his name, drove and came to us and asked us, Madam, what are you doing here? Why are you doing this? And I said, oh, this is the little way we can contribute to the society. And he said, no, you can't. You are not supposed to be doing zebra crossing on this road.
Really?
I said, please tell me why. And he said, yes, because this road is not yet completed. I said, but there's asphalt on the road already. It's been completed. The side, the roads, what's it called, tarmac,
Okay.
yeah, has been done. So what else are you waiting for? This road has been completed for how many months? School children are crossing on this road. We have reports of accidents. In fact, to shock you, Obakiyemi Memorial High School on that same route. The children come out every morning, they have a safety club, they control traffic by themselves. And that was what caught my attention to that particular place. That if pupils are doing this, then the one we did in 2020 January, we decided to give them one zebra crossing project. And he accosted me and said no, and I told him no. If this road will still be amended, let the lives of our children be safe before that time. Let us save more lives by ensuring that there's a zebra crossing. If the road is now done again, I now told him that since it's the, like I said, I won't mention, that it is now his responsibility to ensure that they now do a zebra crossing, even if they have to touch that road again. So, and in 2020, we did 13 schools, including the one in front of the Polytechnic Ibadan.
Fantastic. All right, now, Jadesola, before we talk about the International Women's Day, which comes up tomorrow, as a journalist, are you concerned, very briefly now, are you concerned about the crisis rocking NUJ in Oyo State? And what role can Nawaj play to restore NUJ in Oyo State? Are you concerned?
Well, I stand to be corrected. There is no crisis in NUJ.
Really?
Yes.
Is the case in court?
And I'll explain to you.
Okay.
When the election was that brought forward Comrade Demola Babalola, honestly speaking, I was not on any part of the groups. And I stood out and I told my members that I'm the Nawaj chairperson. Of course, we're under NUJ. As a matter of fact, there is no reason for crisis. You see, the crisis, just like the one you see politicians fight, is only on the pages of newspaper.
Okay.
The national president of NUJ, on his 3-day official visit to Oyo State, said it in clear terms. Now, if the national body of an association or union says this is the person that we recognize, there was an election. I was part of that election. I took part in the election. And it was glaring. There was an election, somebody came, somebody voted, people voted. In fact, I stand to be corrected, out of the 10 chapels we have in Oyo State, 9 chapels came to vote and voted for one particular candidate. And you had just 6 people voting for the other person. So are you saying that majority does not carry the votes? Are you saying the voice of the majority should be put under the carpet? Now, somebody can go to court. Okay. I don't have any issue with it. Okay. And like the president said when he came, he said he's one of those pushing for the right for people to express themselves. And so why will he not allow whoever feels aggrieved to go to court? So whoever that is aggrieved, as a matter of fact, can go to court. I worked with Comrade Adeniro while he was there. I don't have issues with him as a person. But in the interest of our union, in the interest of the development of our union, I say there is no crisis in NUJ. The court matter has been resolved to the last point.
Okay, let me
quickly before you
we don't have so much
before
time
you take me away from that. Yeah. And I also want to say that the president, when he came to Oyo State, visited Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria.
The president of NUJ,
yes.
Not President Buhari.
He's my president. He visited their chapel. He spoke with the management at large, and as a matter of fact, that issue have been resolved. Okay. It was not Fanny that went to court. It was only 2 other people who didn't have any business in the election that went to court. So there is no case in court.
Okay. Well, if you say so, but to the best of my knowledge, I know that there is still a case in court. Maybe because of that, I would have loved to take the take of the unionist here. If you have a house and two people, I mean, there's a case in court. Is that not a crisis?
No, it's one of those things. It's not new.
Okay.
And whoever, you see, when two people fight, whoever is defeated will be aggrieved. But in the spirit of sportsmanship, we always display the no winner, no vanquish, whatever.
It's all right.
What I would just urge is the two camps should come together, or whatever comes, they should all come together to lift up NUJ. If not, now what you will take the upper hand?
It's all right. 0908-111-1067, 0908-111-1067, or 0808-010-1067, 0808-010-1067. You can call in and, of course, make your contributions on some of the issues that we have discussed this morning, very briefly with the, of course, limited time that we have. Now, Jadisola Ajibola.
Sorry.
Tomorrow,
on the zebra crossing.
Yes.
You see, I
very briefly.
The Nawaj, they have done a very laudable thing, but it remains education and sensitization. I do pass on through the.
Maybe TUC can do that aspect.
No, we have. In fact, I've had occasion to stop vehicles coming behind me. You have to slow down when you get to a zebra crossing, for God's sake. It's not just put there just to color the asphalt. It's put there because of a reason.
And I think Professionals FM should also start a jingle.
Yes.
You know, it's your own corporate.
I want to send this to, please, you go back to that honorable. That honorable doesn't know. He's just displaying his, I don't want to use any.
Let's not go there.
So, he needs further education and win him as a disciple to carry on. I said zebra crossing plus education and sensitization will give huge success.
All right, thank you very much. Just before we take a leave from the studio this morning, tomorrow is International Women's Day. And comrade, you agree with me how important women are to us. We can hardly celebrate them enough. That is the truth.
But in Oyo State, we have told them it doesn't have to be on the 8th.
But one thing our women are always pushing forward is the issue of equality. What is this thing about equality?
They should earn it. I've always told them. They should earn it.
Comrade, it's not now, for us, this is not about equality.
Okay.
It's just about saying three things. That a woman deserves to be educated.
Sure.
A woman deserves to work after education. And a woman should be represented in any group, organization,
you are here now.
community. And that makes it. That is the equality we're talking about. Comrade is here, I am here, and I'm just one out of the 4 people in the studio. So we're saying, even if we are 2 out of 5, then it shows that there is representation. That's all we're asking for. Away from that, that was why this year, 2020, now watch didn't we didn't carry the banner of equality, so to say. What we did was to launch a sticker. Operation Use Your Baby Car Seats. Reduce infant mortality rates. That's what we decided to push forward.
Okay.
Yes, that's the global theme. But for us, that's what we want to do. Let commuters stop putting their babies in front of the car. Put your baby at the back with the car seats and belt them. Once your child is not 12 years old, they have no business sitting in front. This is the only way we can save money. When such things happen, it can cost a lot.
Because we see a lot of that.
Damage the brain. Damage the brain. Some babies will fall and will die from there. So if a woman carries a baby for 9 months and the baby does not die at the point of birth, should the baby not die in front of the car? So let's keep our babies safe.
Fantastic. The producer is already signaling me that our time is up. But comrade, what would you like to say to our women as they celebrate their day tomorrow?
Thank you very much. They have a slogan. Their gender, their strength. Their gender should continue to be their strength and not be a problem onto the other gender. So, he had said it. If they abide by the fact that they wanted to be educated, they wanted to be represented, and what's the third one?
Work, school.
They wanted to work after. They should do it in a way
but
that...
they still do all these things. They get education. She's well educated.
Yeah.
She's working, and
I'm just
you see, yes, she's one. But you see, where the problem may be is that working. When a woman works, she believes she's the head of the house. And a lot of men will have issue with that.
Unfortunately,
Not in all
we
cases.
don't have so much time. That is all. In one word, what do you expect of the society for the woman?
Well, for the women, I'm asking that everywhere, any organization allow a woman to go to school, to work, and have representation of women. And lastly, I want to caution women. When you are educated, you are working, and you are represented, please, it does not make you compete with your man.
God bless you.
Be a humble woman,
Final.
submissive, and be the best woman that you can be as a mother and as a wife. Thank you very much.
I must say a very, very big thank you to my powerful guests this morning, starting with the Chairman Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC Oyo State Chapter, Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiron, for being here this morning. Thank you very much, Comrade, for coming.
Always my pleasure.
And also the ever wonderful and ever indefatigable Jadesola Ajibola for coming on the program today.
One woman
Chairperson of Nigeria Association of Women Journalists. Now,
My pleasure, my
welcome on
pleasure.
the program. And I say a very big thank you to the producer of this program, Tunde Tiamio, and of course the man who has been behind the consoles doing magic to the buttons there, talking about Femi Obideyi. And to you, my esteemed listener, thank you so much for always being there. Let's do this again next Saturday. My name is PIUS Nsabe. Continue to be a good citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. May God bless you and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You have a nice and